Welcome to this introduction of the Northern Alliance Team app. And the Team app is a crucial mechanism for Northern Alliance team members to carry out their day-to-day work and functions. Using the QR code available to you on the screen, you should be able to access the app on an appropriate smartphone. However, we'll also be sharing details with you of a link that you can use to access it as well, and of course appropriate login details. Once you have logged in, you should be able to establish a profile. And that profile will invite you to submit your work email address, and you may get a PIN to verify that this is you that is logging in. And from that you should be able to then register certain interests and also certain skills, because we recognise the huge amount of talent that there is within the team. And straight away on this homepage you have the option to tap in to some of those skills that are available to you, to those who have listed digital skills, for example, as an area of expertise that they could share with others, or indeed those with data analysis skills that again you could tap into if you want to. So again, that opportunity is there to understand the team and again what skills and expertise there is on offer. And of course you can see that in other areas of the app as well. But if I can give you an overview of some of the basic functionality before going into some of the more detailed ones in later videos. For example, our team calendar. In this calendar we've got the opportunity to add events to make sure that we're aware of what's going on in other work streams. Whether that is professional learning, and again that's really helpful in terms of reducing potential overload on particular days. This could help participants make an easier choice in terms of what events they can attend. They don't necessarily have to make a hard choice between one or the other. Actually, if they're different days, or if we know which days people are planning professional learning events, we know which ones are free for us to add into our own. And as that, you can then select on your app again the start and end date of the appropriate event, and of course reference how people can join, because what might be quite useful is that if we can see other professional learning events from other work streams, we can also highlight those opportunities potentially in passing to other colleagues and collaborators that we work alongside. And again, just using the start and end functions, you can define the date and time of the event that you're hosting, and of course highlight again how to join and add any particularly relevant information. So again, you can select professional learning, whether it's a significant team meeting to highlight for everyone, or indeed any time off that you might be planning as well. And that will become a shared space for everyone to complement and add to the calendar there. And of course we have our directory of team members as well, and your own profile, which again you can see the details that have been populated in that area too. But that gives you an overview of the basic functions that we have here. Let me start by introducing you to the classic collaborative engagements tab. Now, collaborative engagements are the way in which we record our way of working, essentially. It's again recording those engagements that we have with external stakeholders, those within our local authorities, about collaboration and about our work. And again, it's a way of highlighting the engagements that take forward our aims and ambitions within the Regional Improvement Plan. And to submit a collaborative engagement, we would go into our tab here and again click on the button about submitting a collaborative engagement and fill it out accordingly, again ensuring that we provide a title and summary. We can enter in the engagement date and time appropriately, and of course the type of engagement, which I'll come back to shortly afterwards, as well as the number of professionals engaged. And we tend not to include ourselves or other team members within our team in this figure. Again, it's about the total number of professionals engaged in that particular engagement, whether it's some sort of professional learning event or some form of strategic meeting. And we also want to highlight the sectors where our collaborators are from, whether that's local authority education sector or a national government education sector such as Education Scotland, or indeed any academics or researchers that were from universities or colleagues within the third sector. And of course, for those that were not really sure of where they fit into those categories, we've got the option to enter that into the text box of other partners. And of course, what's really important as well is highlighting which of our Northern Lights local authorities were represented in that engagement, whether it was in a small engagement environment or whether in a large one too. And that lets us understand about the number of seats that are around that table of collaboration, how many of them are filled in terms of, is local authority X present and represented in that engagement. And that helps feed into our dashboard, which will give us a really nice overview of that. Now, coming back to the type of engagements that we've touched on, we have recently re-looked at the types of engagements that we have available to us in the Northern Alliance, and we originally relied on the typology granted where we had 3 main forms of collaborative engagement. That was consultation, development work, and professional learning. And in essence, consultation was simple information sharing or advice and things like that, and again, fairly low level element of collaboration potentially. But we also had development work, which again really focused coming together of people with the idea of sharing resources, information, developing activity, and professional learning, which characterised by that sort of clear aim and some form of professional learning input. But it was clear over time that with some of our new thinking and approaches moving forward, we really need to characterise that depth of collaboration and unpick those engagements further and really look at that. And to that extent, we're looking at 4 broad collaborative engagement types here. Again, aiming to reflect our new thinking, going from likes of the collaboration framework, the city model, and coherence from Michael Fullan. Again, we're really looking at how do we make sure that we represent our engagements that, again, captures elements of activity in terms of the practical sense, but also capture those elements of depth of collaboration. And with that in mind, these 4 levels, we look at things like raising awareness at strategic and individual level, and that's typically characterised by one-way information sharing, again, introductions, those building of initial relationships. Again, then that just might be a case of highlighting information resources and new practices and opportunities. The next step in that, however, is really not just a case of raising awareness, but actually meaningfully shaping action and practice at that strategic and individual level. And that might be characterised by two-way information sharing, so it's not just all coming from you or from someone else, but actually it's that joint sharing of information and exchange with that opportunity to meaningfully inform each other's work. And that comes with the opportunity of potentially sharing and reviewing resources and practices, engaging in professional learning, which isn't just about sharing in one sense from one direction, but actually that bi-directional approach to sharing information and gaining knowledge. And of course it might also consider some elements of informal planning, getting some ideas together and potentially planning collaborative activity moving forward. And from that comes a lot more of a focused element of collaboration, and as it says, that focusing of direction and producing action collaboratively between people. And here we're going from that more that informal stage to really more that formal aspect, where there's really that deeper consideration of what is the problem, how do we work together to solve that problem. And that might mean that we again take into account more formal structures to, again, that planning where minutes are taken, actions are agreed, and of course reviewed and so on and so forth. But really it's that strong coming together of people and facilitating that collaboration to the point that it's a lot more formalised. And the next step, the final step, the tier there, is about building capacity collaboratively and applying test of change into practice. So we really have that focus not only on those formalised structures that help everyone learn and consider those problems that we all share and have and want to solve, but actually really practically moving forward together and putting that into practice and really focus on applying that innovation and thinking into some form of context there. And that's what we've got represented within our collaborative engagements categories. So when you click on the type of engagement, you'll have the option to select from those 4 types of engagements and use your knowledge to really unpick what engagement is it that you are highlighting there. And of course, you can always have discussions with other colleagues to help clarify that. But what we also have done, in case you ever need to refer back to that, is if you click into the information bar at the top left hand corner, you should see, again, those sorts of descriptions that have been provided to you there. So you can draw upon those for helping informing your submissions of your collaborative engagements data. And we would ask for that at least on a monthly basis. And again, the idea is that we have a real life snapshot of what sort of collaborative engagements are going on in the system, and we can report on that effectively. So, we provided an overview of the registration and again the access to team expertise and knowledge, as well as the opportunity to submit events into the calendar, again access team directories, as well as submitting collaborative engagements. Now, another key feature that we have used the app for previously is for the submission of professional learning attendance information. Now, the exciting part here is that all the information that you can access within this tab is formed from the Eventbrite registrations portal. So again, we can pull Eventbrite registrations information into this app, and that will allow you to record attendance appropriately. And that's it. You just need the names of the individuals who are attending or who have attended your session, whatever that may be. And the rest will be done for you in terms of calculations, in terms of understanding which local authorities were represented at that particular event. Most of that will be done for you. So again, really important that we get this done as soon as possible, and you might be able to draw on various bits of information to help you do that. But again, all of that will then feed into the dashboard, which you can access at any point given in time, and that will help you move forward and use that information appropriately. So again, we've recapped team knowledge and skills, the calendar, our collaborative engagements tab, and also our Eventbrite registrations portal, which again will be able to record attendance of people who have registered for events within Eventbrite. A new feature, however, we've added on to the app, and this is a new way of working and thinking about some of professional learning, data collection, and also our universal sampling. We usually ask people, has this provided opportunities for collaborative working? Well, now we're asking people, would they be interested in taking up the offer of collaborative working and really providing that opt-in moment. And with that in mind, we're pulling together various bits of information sources to help create a register of prospective collaborators, people who are interested in getting involved. And the idea is that this list will be hosted in the Team app, providing you and other colleagues with the opportunity to follow up and convert these prospective collaborators into actual collaborators, and really adding into that prospect and developing that culture of collaboration. And that adds in some really nice data as well about the number of people who are opting in, again, who are open to that culture of collaboration, but also those who actually don't just seem interested, but actually then take the next step. Okay, they then join a network and join appropriately. And you can see here that we've got a prospect highlighted, and we click on that, we can see the response to that question about are they interested. Yes, they would appear to be. We know which local authority they're coming from, we know their contact details, and we know what they're interested in as well. So it's now up to a member of the team to initiate some level of contact with them and to see whether we can get them to sign up to something, whether that's some sort of professional learning event, whether that's a network, or again another opportunity available to them. And we can provide write-up of that. And of course, with these information points that we can feed into, that all goes back into our dashboard, because as soon as we populate something into our Northern Lights Team app, we will find that it will go automatically into the dashboard. So, to recap, our Northern Lights Team app allows us to do a massive amount of work, and again populates the data dashboard in a really straightforward and simple way that really maximises our working. And that includes, again, the calendar, which allows us to share events jointly and understand what's going on across our work streams. Our collaborative engagements, which gives us a sense of how we're collaborating with our collaborators across the system, and again, which local authorities are represented. Our connections tab, which measures our prospective collaborators and allows us to really hook people in and get them to join us in our journey. And our Eventbrite registrations tab, which allows us to record attendance of Northern Alliance local authority staff at events hosted within Eventbrite. And of course, not to forget, our directory of team members with a wide variety of skills that we can draw upon and really learn from, no matter the context, as we move forward.